Yay! Here comes the hero!
Namaste friends. Today I like to talk about a little bit, my first Hindi movie called AROHAN, which actually directed by Shyam Benegal, and cinematographer was one of my friend Govind Halani, who is now also director too, and the actor was Om Puri. I think Om Puri's second or third movie. Dipti Bhatt, a new stage actress, Geeta Sen, wife of Mrinal Sen, Victor Banerjee, and Pankaj Kapoor's first movie. A little bit role was Amrish Puri and Shekhar Chatterjee. So today I like to tell you how I got that Hindi movie, my first Hindi movie music. So I was very much involved with Dr. Bhupen Hazarika from my childhood, and we became more than J2. I used to call him J2, but then he told me, why you call me J2? We can talk each other, through our creativity, music, film making and other stuff, history, because this all I was so interested to, ask all the time, curiosity type from my childhood. So I need to know, So that was part of my life. I composed music for Dr. Bhupen Hazarika a couple times, and also I wrote songs for him. And he actually told me I have an ability to make music. Even I'm from a very old lineage, like thousands of old lineage, which like a mystical and sacred music, or a kind of folklore music, So in our family or in our whole lineage, I was the first music composer who composed music different than that, and I composed from devotional to pop, ghazals and geet and qawwalis and folk and modern song. So I became very young age. I became very popular for modern people and universities, college. They all used to sing my song, So I became a really famous kind of, but I didn't know because my dad also famous. My grandfather was big famous, who spent almost life with Rabindranath Tagore, Kavi Nazrul Islam, Tarashankar Bandyopadhyay, and then 1962, I think, Allen Ginsberg came to India and made his mystical person, my grandfather, and took some, and became his chela, means disciple. So he actually liked my grandfather, and when I was on grandfather's lap, just a little baby, right? So anyhow, the folk music, the real folklore music of Bengal, and also the baul music or kind of other folk, in my blood, and in my family, I was the first, and no one was a composer, only me, and I used to write songs, just like that. Even I actually corrected lots of lyrics from old writers like Lalan Fakir and others, because 4 lines I liked and other line I changed in my way, but I kept their name because they are the owner of that song, right? I composed the music when Lalan Fakir's name not was that much, popularized in the world. So I actually did some of his songs and composed tune for my parents and other, folk musicians and folk singers, which released from HMV. So HMV and other companies, Polydor. So somehow, somewhere, I was a famous, young music composer that time, aside by my, study was going on. Anyhow, so one day Bhupen Hazarika told me that there will be a director, a film director, who is coming to Calcutta, and you have to meet with him because he has some certain kind of idea which he got from your dad's music or your dad's singing style. Okay, I will meet. So gave me the name, and I was very familiar with that name because from 1975 or maybe 1974, 5, 6, these 3 years changed my life from old lineage to modern world. And I started composing music, and I learned some of my harmonium and classical music, tabla, kind of multi-instrumentalist people used to call me, like I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I used to play almost 15 instruments, including Western, mandolin and other stuffs, which I'm the first who introduced in a baul music first. Yeah, my mother first introduced the harmonium, and my father used tabla for baul music, and my uncle, my aunt's name Radharani Dasi. So her husband introduced dotara first time with baul. Before dotara was a folk instruments and bhatiali from Bangladesh side, even that was India too. So anyhow, but I experienced always with the Western and other instruments and make something different tone. I always like different tone, and this is my research. So mandolin and other stuffs, like a keyboard, synthesizer, piano, drums, congo, bongo, guitar, all I introduced first time, and now it's very popular. But the only difference is I always kept the originality of the tune, but arrange the music is different, right? And people like that way nowadays. So anyhow, so I told my parents that there will be a director, and I used to work for my dad whole my life, because my dad needed a person who could boost him, because he didn't know the languages, from village, but he only got the good voice, God gifted voice, that's it, and a very good look, which actually performer needs. So anyhow, others he didn't know how to organize, arrange, and composing music or writing music, all kind of stuff, and that I got from maybe lots of people. They used to say that I got from my grandfather. My grandfather was a very great poet, composer, singer, and dancer, wild dancer, tantric, yoga guru, and Ayurvedic, lots of stuff. So anyhow, so dad, mom excited to meet, and we went to a Gratiston hotel where actually Shyam Benegal came with Shama Jeddi and the name Govind Halani, introduced by Bansi Chandragupta. Why? Because I used to know Bansi Chandragupta way before than this, Arohan. Because I used to, from my family only, I used to go and talk with Satidre, Mridal Sen, all kind of people. So I knew Bansi Chandragupta was a very big name for, film designer and set designer, right, and art director. So he was so famous, art base, right, and Bhanuda, who actually edited the Arohan. So they were there. So they knew me. I was a little, and told, oh my God, he is a very talented and like a little red chili. Means the knowledge, so many knowledges I got from my childhood. And, I studied at Ramakrishna Mission, like Vedantic Society. So the Baul essence I got from my grandfather, and the education I got from Vedantic Society, and some you can say the rural, oral traditions, one by one. So as the eldest son, I always supported my parents. First I have seen my mom boosted my dad in every way. My dad was not a social guy, so my mom was very social, and maybe I learned from my mom. And so many places when I was just a little grew up, and I thought, oh my God, this is not good to go. My mother there and sitting there, to asking some performance or what. So I started, and I actually totally organized everything and arranged everything for my parents. So anyhow, Bangsi Chandragupta told Shyam Benegal, this guy is like a little red chili with ocean of knowledge. So anyhow, so we talked, and Shyam Benegal told that Shyam Benegal went to Seattle, where his brother Niranjan living. So once upon a time, me and my parents went to University of Washington State and sang couple songs. So they actually recorded that songs. One was Tuya Amare Pagol Kolli Re. So he told, I want this voice and this song for my background music. I'm going to direct a West Bengal government, left front government producing a movie called AROHAN, and based on a poor farmer, so blah, 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 blah. So very next day I was so interested, because I don't know, anything new, the curiosity, waking up whole night I could not sleep. Next day I went there and talked more and more. And then they wanted to go Chabis Pargana and Bardhaman for the locations. So I told, go to our village, Birbhum and Shantiniketan. When I said Shantiniketan, so Shyam Benegal thought, oh God, that will be a new, new journey with Rabindranath Tagore's name or blah, blah, blah. So we went after 3 days to Shantiniketan. All the way I went from Calcutta to Shantiniketan by road, and I sang one after one songs, because Bangsi Chandragupta asked me, oh, sing your grandfather's song, this, that, blah, blah. So he was totally impressed, my music or my tune. So asked me, this is your tune? I said, yeah, it's my tune, but, you can say my dad sings kind of songs, okay? So they liked the locations and approved the locations, and they're gonna start the shooting, and they gave us 3 days for music recording studio. It will be only one song and a little bit background music, and then they're gone. And suddenly I got a call from Bhupen Hazarika, because Bhupen Hazarika was the first who actually approved as a music director for that movie, because he was a great singer, performer, music composer, writer, political, activist. So big name. So anyhow, so he told me, hey, you actually sang couple songs and Shyam liked that. So why not you just do music for this movie? I was a little bit kind of, wow, scared kind of. I was not that matured from my inside, maybe or maybe not. I thought, well, that will be something, because I did compose for Bengali movies before that, and couple of my private albums for Durga Puja, Kali Puja, Holi festival, and already got a good name, And so I thought, okay, that will be something. So, and I actually had an interest to compose music for, big movie or something like that. That was not a big movie, but, for me, that time was big. So I actually, and also Shyam Benegal sent a letter to me, and we talked on phone that I'm sending a lyrics writer if you can help, because I only knew the Hindi from my whole lineage or from whole family, you know. So I actually sat with him like almost a week, and we figuring out two songs rather than one song. So one was little bit like Tu Hamare Pagal Korli De, but I changed the tune a little bit. This is my style. I always change something, if I like, and I think people like too. So anyhow, the first song was Dekho Hari Mandal Ko Dekho. The Hari Mandal, the character name, because so much struggle, farmer village interior. So on him, so how he came from the village to Calcutta. So in my mind, so I actually tuned meter wise, and I sit with Niyaj Haider and we complete that lyrics. Now who gonna sing this? So first Shyam Benegal told you can try Bhupen Hazarika or Asha Bhosle. So the range which I wanted, that range I don't think so Bhupen Hazarika or Asha Bhosle they had kind of range. So I thought, why not try my dad? My dad has a very big range, and kind of raw, rural folk. I always call that is a classic folk, because I grew up with the baul music from my grandfather, grandmother, uncle, aunties, and other disciples of my grandfather used to come all the time at our house. So I grew up those kind of tone. So my father actually different. He sings a different type of baul that's called classic baul. This kind of kirtananga, kirtan, Vaishnava kirtan, because we from Vaishnava lineage. So I thought this will be very good. Try, because my dad never knew Hindi. So this is another part I have to do, So I started like a week with my father, try to teach my father Hindi, how to sing this song. So, so he always morning to day, and my mom was so puzzled. Cannot improve, So I appointed a Hindi teacher for my father, and a month they already started shooting. So I just met a couple times with the whole crew at Birbhum by myself, train from Calcutta Howrah to Shantiniketan, and then by bus and whatever. So I used to meet them all the time, and I became a really kind of friendly relationship with the whole crew. Anyhow, so when the date came, 3 days, so I actually thought, why not I just introduce banjo first time. Banjo is very close to Dotara kind of sound, the bass. My Dotara teacher's son, Paulton, who actually used to play Dotara and banjo. So I asked him, couple musicians I took, because they didn't have that much budget for that song. So Chandrakanta Nandi, flute, and Paulton, banjo, and tabla, I think Sham Kaku, uncle from HMB's musician, and by myself, I actually played almost. So my Dotara teacher's son, Paulton, who actually used to play Dotara and banjo. So I asked him, couple musicians I took, because they didn't have that much budget for that song. So Chandrakanta Nandi, flute, and Paulton, banjo, and tabla, I think Sham Kaku, uncle from HMB's musician, and by myself, I actually played almost 5 instruments, including iktara, dubki, and dholak, kinda, and my mom a little bit harmonium and percussion. So this was our 5 or 6, maybe 4 or 5 musicians recording, right? And I had a really good faith on that recordist, HMB recordist. He was superb, superb. So I talked with him and what I want and told. So almost the whole picture I was there, right? My dad could not sing the Hindi, so that took like a 21 times retakes. You know, it's a history kind of. But somehow, somewhere he did, and that took like a 3 to 4 days to sing the whole only, not only one song, couple songs I did, like a say like a 6 to 7 songs. But songs, actually there is a 3 or 4 song, but we made it like a background type, right? So. And also Shyam Benegal needed some background instrument, so I asked my dad to play the kamak, because I think he is the best, you know, kamak. His kamak playing is way more than anyone I ever heard. So he did, and Iktara, myself and my mom, little bit, you know, percussion, and the whole background music done. And Chandrakantanandi's flute, beautiful. He was the master. Folk music flute player, Chandrakantanandi was best. I actually thought Paritos Kaku for Dotara, but Paritos Kaku was so busy with one of our family, Goshtugopal Das. So I said, that's okay, I will introduce new. So banjo introduced first time in baul and folk. After that, everyone using now. Anyhow, so all recording done, and they all silent. So I asked my father or mother, how you like, because I introduced my father and mother a couple of songs like Chalte Hai, Are O Bhatak Raha, Dekho Harimandal Ko Dekho, Jyoti Aakh Se, and Tune Ab Tak, फिर खो बैठा है, फिर देर नहीं. All songs is actually 3 songs, and I just made different tunes, so can do that, use for the whole film, because I knew only the story. My parents, they didn't know the story. Only I said that these is, and Niyaz Haidar really did a good job. The Niyaz and Shyam Benegal, they. I'm really thankful to them, because they were so patient with us, with my parents, mostly my dad. Sometimes my mom was puzzled, oh God, he cannot sing. I will try, never give up, try, and that's the AROHAN made. But when the AROHAN's, the LP came, nowhere my name. So it was a little bit shocked, because I'm the music director, and Bhupen Hazarika used to be music director, but he told Shyam Benegal that I will compose, and I did that. But no matter what, my dad has a big name that time, and he sang first time, Hindi, and in Baul history, you can say. So my pronunciation or whatever, they put it, the music director Purnadas Baul, and and my mother was so happy, because my mother always wanted to see my dad as a successful music composer or singer or whatever, performer. He already performing and as a singer, one-man show kind of. Me and my mom always supported him, and I knew my dad's skill and which song will be what. No one from my family. So up to whenever I did compose for my dad, all music was super duper hit. Everybody used to say, oh my God, this is like 80% songs of Purnadas Baul and Manjudas, composed by me. And sometimes lyrics was by me. But I never, like that, I'm never aggressive, that I want this, I want that. I just creative. I'm a creative factory, you can say. So anyhow, my mom say, it's okay, keep that name. Why? Because your dad name means your name. Oh, okay, whatever. So that's where the name came from. So the title song supposed to sing Bhupen Hazarika and Asha Bhosle. I talked with them, but didn't happen because they say no, we no need is done because we don't have a budget to more. You have to come to Bombay and musicians and studio and singer, lots of cost. So we don't have that much budget. So my dream was to make a music. I made a really #1 music, AROHAN's background song. Didn't record it, but anyhow. So I forgot that. So when that film came out so fast, that time I was living in Bombay. I was a manager for Tips Music or CBS Music, Time Audio Video Film, and Gramophone Company and other film companies. I was working for in a big scale, and so music direction I almost kept side because I was so busy with promoting others than me. I never promote myself. I always promoted my father, parents, and in every way. And now they have a platform and they can say whatever. And another thing I just figuring out, like I brought Shyam Benegal, Om Puri, Dipti, and Govind Nyalani, Bangsi to our house. That was me. There was no my sibling, not in a picture. So when we done a little party at home after finishing the recording, so I just asked, can I take a couple pictures with my sibling too? So they say, okay, no problem. So blah blah blah. We took a couple pictures, but they never did anything with, they didn't even did anything for this film Arohan. Whatever I did, that was me. Even the other movies like Manav Premik Nimai. Came out my dad's name, but both films, if you see the film, when I went to the so I met Shyam Benegal because Shyam Benegal actually called me. Then the video is not selling, and I was in a top position in a video rights, taking or music rights. Music already released by HMB, but video no one is interested. So I took the rights, Arohan, because of my first Hindi movie. So when I watched the whole movie first time before anyone, only me and Shyam Benegal, Govind Nyalani, and Shyama Jeddi and Niyaz Haidar at Worli, Tardio Shyam Benegal place. So a little screen, television. So what I thought is a different movie, it's a different movie. Very much you can say crossover type movie, not a commercial movie. But my name was there, music composer. My name was there in film. So Shyam Benegal say, I'm so sorry because HMB did that, and I just sent them a telegraph that add Krishnendu Das, my name there, because he's the person who did that. Purnadas just sang the song. And also Manju Das, because I also always boosted my mother too all the time, because she had a really good talent, which always covered. I was the first discovered her. Why not you join with my dad? Anyhow, so after music release, there was not that much sale because I was in a music industry, so I knew the sale and all kind of stuff. I liked the design. The design they made really good, and I took the video rights, and no distributor came to help or support this movie because it was a left front government's production, and before they thought Bhupen Hazarika music director, now Purnadas Baul. Who is Purnadas Baul? They don't know. Only the Bengali people they know my dad's name, so didn't click. But anyhow, 1982, I think, the film got a national award for the best actor Om Puri and the best crossover movie for Shyam Benegal, and Tashkent music. So Tashkent, Russia, I got a award for music. So Shyam Benegal actually called me for the next movie. Why not you do half Banraj Bhatia, half music, half you music? I said no, it's okay. It's okay. After, struggling and, so much focus on, and I didn't get any name. So I'm not interested. That's it. And that's I am. If I don't like, I don't like. Who you are doesn't matter to me. And if I like who you are, doesn't matter, I just join you. That's kind of character I am. So I just stopped to go to Shyam Benegal's office. Yeah, I had a big name in Durga Puja music and modern music, folk music, all my parents' music. I used to compose for them too. So anyhow, so Shyam Benegal gave me a chance and told me in a tricky way or whatever, I don't know, told why not you try Rekha as a singer. Because that time Rekha was doing a fitness video with my friend Ashish, and I actually took that rights too, and I used to meet Rekha all the time. So Ashish, I told Ashish, because Ashish was the producer for that fitness, So Ashish told, oh, that will be something. So okay, we can talk. So I talked with Rekha's secretary, and we had a meeting, and Rekha liked and told, yeah, Shyam Benegal actually recommended you to make a Bengali album for me. But when she started, the budget and this and that, and I thought, that's kind of odd. Every budget you will take, and no, not for music, that much. I don't know how I will do. So I just dropped that project. Anyhow, so this is actually the story of the Arohan, my first Hindi movie as a music composer. And you can see the film, there, my name is there, but it's okay. My dad's dreams come true to have a music composer and whatever. But anyhow, but I actually introduced like thousands of music or films, from A to Z, like a low budget, medium budget, and the top budget, like a Khuda Gava, Andaj Apna Apna. So I released their music, and I was the manager A&R for CBS, and also a consultant and audio department for tips, also A&R department, and time. I introduced lots of companies in a audio company like Pen Audio, today Pen Movies, and others too, like Ultra Music, Tips Music. So I'm happy. And also I, time to time, some people came and, oh, can you do for music? So I just did for like a hobby, couple music, and 60 albums released. So almost 20 albums, took the audio rights, Google Music, that's a big deal worldwide, and 10 my album took by Facebook Music, and I was a Star Music, music composer. Now I'm working for B Network Music, and you can get through the online. Just type my name, Krishnendu Das BabuKishan, or KD BabuKishan, or only BabuKishan, or KD Babu. You will, or BabuKishan, or you can get lots of type of music. I never promoted myself, but I promoted like every singer in MAP in Bollywood. So, and music composers, and I used to sit down for the suggest. That was my duty, or my work, or my job, that I have to sit with the music composers, and which one is good, that we're gonna record and produced by audio companies. So I actually really thankful to God, humble, and that I actually sat with R.D. Burman, Lakshmikant Pyarelal, Bappi Lahiri, and all the music composer, like new music composer like others. They used to play with my tune. Lots of like 100 to 150 musician I took for my movie Amardeep, Bengali, and Amit Kumar actually sang 3 songs, and one actually we gave a chance to Anuradha Podwal, first Bengali, and Kavita Krishnamurthy's first Bengali, and also Kumar Shanu, who is now very famous and my very good friend, from my college life. And so Kumar Shanu was the first time sang for Bengali movie. That was my movie, That was my movie. Kumar Sanu recorded the first song, Tana Tana Chok. And another record I did, that is history of India's second digital music, which I did, computerized music, Tana Tana Chok with Kumar Sanu at Bombay Lab. And other songs I recorded from Super Sunny, Sri Sound and Film Center. So that actually, I think even one song, Hajar Bochor Jodi, that actually I supposed to record with Kishore Kumar, and I actually rehearsed with him. But after his death, so a couple months or maybe years we were silent. And then one time I just met Amit Kumar. So Amit Kumar told me, Hajar Bochor Jodi. I was like, wow, that's my song. Yeah, I know. If I get a chance, I will sing that song. So I talked with the producer. I think Satabdi's first movie that was too, as actress. Anyhow, so Amit Kumar sang, and all the violin player like Uttam Singh, Ismail Darbar, and Lalwani and Samir. All the musicians, they're becoming now, Adesh, becoming the music composer, and they are very talented, and they are really, they did good, good music for the public, and most of their music I actually released through different music companies, and I'm so happy. And maybe next time I will come with another, my story with Bollywood, because lots of people they actually send me emails. So why not you tell? Because I have seen 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, huge market. The music-based film, and I was a big, chapter for those movies. Lots of stars who are now superstar, like Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, Amir Khan, Akshay, and I have seen them. They are just start, their struggle, and Ashutosh Gaurikar, and lots of people I can have stories to tell, and I'm really happy that their dreams come true, and their struggles. I have seen their struggle, lots of struggles. It's not easy to be successful, in that way, which way they are now. And good job, and thank you very much. Namaste.
मैं ओमपुरी हूं, इस फिल्म में काम कर रहा हूं। डायरेक्टर श्याम बेनेगल का विचार है कि फिल्म से पहले दर्शकों से एक जाती रिश्ता बनाया जाए। जैसे दर्शक फिल्म से कुछ चाहता है, वैसे ही फिल्म बनाने वाला भी दर्शक से कुछ चाहता है। बंशी चंद्र गुप्त, आप फिल्म के आर्ट डायरेक्टर हैं।